Huh. For real, that's the end. He continued to pay attention to the sentence. In a public vehicle. Then he fell silent thinking about it. 3 ways to survive in a broken world. I'm DOKJA. I present myself to people by saying this, but most people have the same misconception as the following examples.
Oh, you're an only child.
It's true, but I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, then what did you mean?
That's what people often say to me. Then he explained again, my name is DOKJA, Kim DOKJA. My father gave me this name so that I can live as a strong person even though I'm alone. However, because of my father's naming sense, I have been living my usual life as a lonely unmarried man.
Oh, I see, said the man.
DOKJA continued the story. In short, this is me, Kim DOKJA, 28 years old, graduated from a 3rd-level university in a rural area, currently working as a contract worker for a large subsidiary company. My hobby is reading web novels every time on my way home from work. However, today is a little different from my usual journey.
On the way back, a woman suddenly said, "You'll get sucked into your mobile phone at this rate."
Then DOKJA looked at the woman and said, "You Sangha, come from human resources."
Then Yu Sangha asked, "Are you on your way home?"
Oh, hello, yes, how about you? DOKJA said.
Then Yu Sangha replied, "I'm lucky. The department manager went on a business trip today."
Then DOKJA was silent and said in his heart, "Didn't expect that I would meet you Sangha, the most popular woman in our company, on the subway. She smells good." "Do you always take the subway?" DOKJA said. Then DOKJA answered her own question silently, starting from the deputy manager, HR Kong, and finance manager Han. I'm pretty sure that many men from the company who offer her a ride home every night.
Yu Sangha asked, "Someone stole my bike. Did you see?"
"Do you come to work by bike?" DOKJA said.
Yes, I've been working a lot of overtime lately and not exercising enough. There's also some business that's been bothering me, so it seems like a good idea," said Yu Sangha.
While staring at her face, DOKJA said to herself, seeing her up close, I'm beginning to understand the feelings of men who have had their hearts stolen. Anyway, it's none of my business. Yu Sangha is someone who lives a different genre of life from me, different from mine. Oh, and for your information, the reason today is a little different from my usual trip is not just because of Yu Sangha.
Then DOKJA saw Yu Sangha playing with his mobile phone, and it turns out, Puede prestarme dinero, huh? Spanish for, "Can you lend me some money?" Yu Sangha said.
Then DOKJA noticed him and said, she's even learnt on the way home. We really live different lives. Then DOKJA said, you are very diligent.
And Yu Sangha asked, "By the way, what are you reading so diligently? DOKJA see."
Then DOKJA put his mobile phone out of Yu Sangha's sight. Oh,
Then Yu Sangha interrupted the conversation, "Is that a novel?"
DOKJA replied, yes, you can say that I learned Korean.
Wow, I love reading novels too, said Yu Sangha.
I've read Murakami's Haruki Raymond Carver, and of course you have, said DOKJA.
Then Yu Sangha asked, "Who is your favorite author?" DOKJA S.E.
Then DOKJA replied, you wouldn't recognize his name even if I told you, haha. Indeed, my hobby is reading web novels at home after work. DOKJA stared at his mobile phone as he continued to explain. However, it's a bit embarrassing to say it to others. Anyway, the reason why today is a little different from the usual night is because of a fantasy novel that I've been reading for 10 years, 3 Ways to Survive in a Broken World. How to survive, in short, it's over today. You may ask me, what is so important about the ending of a novel, but this novel means a lot to me. Chapter after chapter has passed. I've been reading this novel since 3rd grade. Even when I was bullied at school. When I failed the entrance exam and got into a 3rd-tier university in the countryside. When I had drawn a number and was sent to the cursed front line. And when I got into a big subsidiary company as a damn contract worker, forget this talk. The emptiness I feel with the ending of this story, and the satisfaction of witnessing the end of the story, today, is the day when the epilogue of The Way of Survival is released. This fantasy novel reaches 3,149 chapters, a novel that I have been reading for more than 10 years, from adolescence to adulthood. This author took more than 3,000 chapters of a novel that only has an average view per chapter of 1. There are 1,200 views for chapter 1, about 20 in chapter 10, and 12 after chapter 50, In other words, this is a novel dedicated to me. Although I would like to donate to the author, a man living alone on a limited salary does not have the freedom to do that. Therefore, I wrote a comment to him with words from the bottom of my heart. I tried posting this novel on the recommendation board, but I only got insults, even though the story is quite good if you are patient and keep reading. Such unreasonable people.
DOKJA S.E. said Yu Senga while being astonished.
Oh, come to think of it, it's been a year since we joined this company. Time really flies. Had to change the topic when things got awkward, said DOKJA.
Then Yu Senga said, that's right. At that time, we both didn't know anything, right?
Indeed, I still remember it like it was yesterday, but the contract period is almost over, said DOKJA.
They laughed together.
Then DOKJA said, I had forgotten. Yu Senga had been recognized for his contribution and had been promoted to a permanent employee.
I am, said Yu Senga.
Then DOKJA said, oh right, I forgot to congratulate you. I apologize. Maybe I should be more diligent in learning other languages.
Then Yu Senga replied, that's not true. DOKJA S.E. There is still a performance review, and...
Then DOKJA said in his heart, I hate to admit it, but Yu Senga is amazing. If the world was a novel, then the main character would be someone like him. That's obvious. I'm not trying hard. Well, he's working really hard. I'm reading a web novel while Yu Senga is studying. That's why it's obvious that Yu Senga will become a full-time employee, while I'll have my contract terminated.
Yu Senga was silent and said, DOKJA S.E.
Yes, if you don't mind I can show you the app I'm using, said DOKJA. DOKJA also looked at you deeply. If my life had a different genre. I mean, if my life genre is realism, but instead fantasy, I could have become the main character. They were still on their way home.
DOKJA S.E. Yu Senga was very surprised.
It's okay, Yu Senga S.E., said DOKJA.
Yu Senga sighed. I don't know.
Then DOKJA said, however, what I know is, even if you show me the app, it won't change anything. The genre in my life is unmistakable realism. And that in this genre, I am not the protagonist, but the reader DOKJA. A reader DOKJA has a life DOKJA.
Yu Senga was very surprised and said, the life of a reader. You really said some interesting things, DOKJA S.E.
Yes, DOKJA said.
Then I guess I'm living the ivory life, Senga, said Yu Senga.
Huh.
Then Yu Senga said, I will imitate DOKJA S.E. and remain filial in my life.
Oh well, at least everything is quiet, said DOKJA. DOKJA checks his mobile phone. He received a message, at a time I could never have guessed, says DOKJA. A message saying, thank you very much. Then DOKJA was surprised. Could he be the author of How to Survive? What Will I Experience Soon? DOKJA continued to read the message and reply to each other. DOKJA was shocked. How to survive winning the competition. Then DOKJA continued to reply to the chat. What the world is about to experience. But seriously, does survival mode win the competition? I wonder if he'll give me a 50,000 one culture gift card. Would be nice. It's here, the prize is here. Until 7 p.m. at night, it's 6:55 p.m., so I have 5 more minutes, right? Let's see, open my favorites and, that's weird. Has there ever been a case where they deleted a novel to make money without telling the readers? DOKJA was silent. What? You was shocked. Suddenly, kick, what's wrong? A terrorist attack. Yuck, all the passengers scattered at that moment. The terrorist attack came so fast that they attacked the bus they were traveling in. But the car kept traveling. Are you right, Usanga S.E. DOKJA said.
Yes. What happened? Usanga was very scared.
Then DOKJA answered while continuing to stare at her mobile phone and did not care about the incident. Don't worry, it's probably nothing to Sari. DOKJA instantly stopped talking as he looked at the clock. It's already 7 p.m., which is the news that we've been waiting for. I happened to be watching when the clock changed, however, it was 7 p.m. Monetization, said DOKJA. Suddenly, an announcement for all passengers, everyone, run.
What? DOKJA? S.E.? What exactly? You is so scared.
DOKJA was silent for a moment. All the passengers are rushing to get out. Everyone looked at the man, as well as DOKJA, then he said, the free service of Planet 8612 system has been stopped. The main scenario starts now. Instantly my life genre has changed, said DOKJA.
The moment it appeared, someone shouted, "It looks like DOKJA."
DOKJA fell silent.
Everyone inside the train panicked. Well, no way. Subway trains often stop on the tracks, so it's not surprising.
The familiar opening scene of the novel kept popping into my head, said DOKJA. However, that's not possible. There's no way that can happen, right?
DOKJA, said Usanga.
Then DOKJA was surprised. What? Then DOKJA said, logically, there's no way that could happen. It's impossible but.
Look at that, said a passenger, and everyone looked at the door of the train.
Then Usanga asked, what is it?
That can't be it, said DOKJA. A small object with a crane appears, but it looks like a doll, and it's a DOKJA. DOKJA was very surprised. And so were all the passengers on the train. The moment when fiction and reality overlap perfectly.
Then DOKJA spoke.
Everyone is immortalizing it. What did he say?
Is this argumented reality?
It's so ugly.
Then DOKJA said, but does anyone else besides me realize the importance and gravity of this situation? It must be DOKJA. In the world of how to survive, aka, there's a way to survive in the world of runners. This is DOKJA, who started never ending. But this can't be impossible, tragedies and disasters.
It sounds like Spanish. Should I try to speak it? Said Usanga.
Then DOKJA asked, do you know what it is? Are you asking him to lend you money?
I won't, said Usanga.
Did you hear me correctly? It's so annoying to deal with. The Korean patch doesn't work properly, said DOKJA.
Everyone, can you hear my words clearly? Said DOKJA.
Hey, what are you doing right now? Said the passenger.
Said DOKJA.
Are you filming a film? I have an audition to attend, so I have to leave soon, said the passenger.
Then the DOKJA said, audition. Look, I didn't know there was an audition at this hour. Looks like we didn't investigate properly. I was told that most people would be compliant if we started monetization at 7 p.m.
What are you talking about? Said the passenger.
Then DOKJA said, now, everyone calm down, sit down and listen to me. I have some very important information to deliver right now.
Someone got annoyed and said, who cares, get the train ready. You don't own our operations, so stop this. How will you compensate us for this disruption?
Then a child said, Mom, what is that? An anime?
Then all the passengers went berserk and said, no doubt. This is a development I know.
Then DOKJA said, I have to stop them. But how are you Sanga he don't move a muscle?
Huh.
Everyone was making noise on the train, then DOKJA laughed and said, Haha. You're so noisy, I told you. To stay quiet.
How? Passenger said.
Suddenly there was someone with blood on his shoes. Everyone was surprised to see so much blood. The blood was scattered.
Then DOKJA said, it's not a film shoot. Lower than a dream. The scary image of the DOKJA and the amount of blood everywhere. Or a novel. And not the reality you've been living in, do you understand?
Then DOKJA said, he was right, this is all real. The part of me that won't believe this situation. It became eerily silent as this subway car became a bloodbath.
Then DOKJA said, everyone, isn't your life fun and peaceful so far?
Everyone fell silent.
You were born and didn't pay to breathe, eat, defecate, and procreate at will. You really live in a wonderful world. But those golden days are behind us because nothing is free forever in this world.
All the passengers were annoyed and fell silent at DOKJA's words.
Are you asking for money? Said DOKJA. Someone came staring at the DOKJA angrily. Then DOKJA asked, you Sanga isn't that the Han manager of the Ministry of Finance?
You're right, said Usanga.
It turned out he was a manager, so he said, if you ask for money, I can give you all the money you want. Oh, please look at my business card, this is me. So, how much do you want, this much, or double?
So you mean you're going to give you human money? Said DOKJA.
Then the manager said, if you let me out of here, I can give you as much as you want. Money, that's good, plant fiber that is mutually agreed upon by humans, the manager said.
Then DOKJA refused and destroyed the money. It worked, nothing can be bought with money.
The manager is very emotional.
Then DOKJA said, but that only applies in your space-time continuum. That tiny piece of paper has no value in the macrocosmic world, I warn you. If you act like this again, I will blow your brains out.
Instantly the money disappeared in the manager's hand.
Your debt keeps piling up if you keep blabbing like this. Well, instead of explaining it 100 times, it would be faster if you get the money and see for yourself. Suddenly, the DOKJA flew away quickly. Everyone was watching.
The constellations have entered, said the passenger. Hal, what is this? Said the passenger. A passenger panicked and locked eyes with another passenger.
Then DOKJA looked at the light screen. He kept waiting for it. Then came the sentence, the male scenario has arrived. The main scenario, killing one or more lives.
Then DOKJA said, then, good luck everyone.
Please show us an interesting story.
Instantly DOKJA disappeared.
Then they all fell silent.
Police. Usanga called the police and said. They didn't answer what to do. What should we do?
Then DOKJA said, Usanga, calm down. Usanga, you've played the game made by the development team before, right? A game where the world was destroyed and only a few people survived.
Then Usanga was surprised, Pa. What are you talking about?
Then DOKJA said, think of it like this. Right now, we are in the game.
Game, said Usanga.
Then DOKJA said, simply, all games have rules, right? You just need to follow them.
Rules? What is it? Said Usanga.
We need to find the out from now on, said DOKJA.
Senga felt very scared at that time.
Then, with a blank stare, DOKJA told me, the dokebi that is stretched out is the antenna. The corpses are scattered like rubbish in the compartment. Trembling office workers covered in blood. The old woman praying in her seat. I still can't believe it, but I can't doubt my eyes anymore, really. I have to admit it to someone. When someone goes berserk, open the door, anyone, open it with a hammer. I don't know why, but one thing's for sure. A new way of survival that I've been reading about for over 10 years has become a reality and is happening before my eyes. Thinking of what I have to do to survive in this new world. Kill one or more lives. Suddenly a man came and said,
"Everyone, please calm down. Take a deep breath and stop everything you are doing. Have you calmed down? Please listen to me for a moment. As you know, in the event of a national disaster, a small disturbance can cause a large loss of life, which is why I will now take control of this situation."
Then someone on the train asked, "What? Who are you? National disaster. Don't lie to me."
Then the man said, "I am," while showing his identity. "I am an army lieutenant serving in Unit 6502.
"Lieutenant, he's a soldier," said DOKJA, looking at the man.
Then the man showed his mobile phone to the train passenger and said, "I received a message from my unit earlier."
Then the passenger read it and said, "Shit, national disaster." "Mr. Soldier, what the hell is going on?" With great emotion the passenger asked such a question.
Then the soldier replied, "I've tried to contact my unit, but..." Instantly the passenger interrupted the conversation.
"How about a blue house? What are they doing? Call the president right now." "Then who is controlling the situation?" said the passenger.
Then DOKJA said, "National disaster. This is not surprising considering the situation."
"I apologize, but I'm just an ordinary soldier, so I don't have a hotline to the blue building," said the soldier.
"But I gave it a surprise for another reason. For the safety of all the colors of the country," said the soldier.
Then DOKJA said, "Lieutenant Lee Hyunsung. I know about him. It's the first time I've seen his face, but his name is firmly fixed in my mind. He is one of the important supporting characters in the way of survival. Even characters from novels appear. But was Lee Hyunsung introduced like this in the novel? No, as the only survivalist reader, I am sure of this. Lee Hyunsung's first appearance was not like this. I believe he appeared after the end of the first scenario, then what happens now? Shit, if I could reread How to Survive, I could know, but the Prime Minister made a speech. That's really a level 1 national disaster."
Then Senga said, "DOKJA, SSE, to all my citizens."
On a number of TV news, one of them was, in an unspecified number of areas that include Seoul, unidentified terrorists are active and on the move. The government will mobilize all means and methods to fight against terrorists and...
Then DOKJA said, "As I suspected, I know the content of this speech. Terrorism, right? It would be easier to think of it that way. Now that I've actually listened to it, it sounds really ridiculous."
Then all the passengers asked questions. But why did the Prime Minister make the speech instead of the President? They said that the President had been killed. What? Really? I'm not sure. It was written in the comments, idiot. Then it must be fake. Of course, it wasn't fake, and immediately, the passengers said. Suddenly, hiya, kyak, bang, all the passengers' mobile phones scattered. The Prime Minister is...
Everyone couldn't see clearly because their mobile phones fell out because they looked very surprised after seeing the news incident.
"Everyone, I told you. It's not something as simple as..."
Senga and DOKJA were still watching the show on their mobile phones. Then Senga said, Do you still not understand? That won't work. Does this situation look like a game to you? True, according to the data, the citizens of this country are skilled in playing games. Then why don't we increase the difficulty?
All passengers pay attention to the time. The clock shows 20 for 22. It suddenly became 20 for 21. Then 23:19. The remaining time has decreased. The current remaining time is 10 minutes. Main scenario 1. Kill 1 or more lives. Time is running out.
All the passengers continued to wonder what was happening and continued to make noise on the train. As an additional punishment, if the first murder does not occur within the next 5 minutes, all lives in the carriage will be exterminated. What's up with that? Is this a joke? Didn't you hear the message? You heard it right, Mr. Soldier. What do we do now? Why aren't the police coming?